Don't cry. We have only one enemy. This is Putin. Yeah? Pay up, people. There's no choice. And in the context of all of this, it's been quite interesting, actually, after so many weeks of Israel, to remember that there is another significant conflict ongoing that we're being asked to pay for here. It's good to have a little look back and see over the past sort of 12, 18 months where all this has come from and how Ukraine has been operating.
Let's have a look.
Ukraine has biological research facilities, which, in fact, we are now quite concerned Russian forces may be seeking to gain control of. So we are working with the Ukrainians on how they can prevent any of those research materials from falling into the hands of Russian forces should they approach.
Yeah, so that's Victoria Nuland from the US State Department, essentially admitting to the existence of biological research facilities. Whether those could also be bioweapons facilities, I think, is open to interpretation. That was essentially given by Putin as one of the main reasons for the escalation of conflicts at the start of the war. Turns out, and that was actually from March 2022, so in the opening weeks of the conflict, it was confirmed that those facilities did exist. Putin also talked about the denazification of Ukraine, and we've known for quite some time now, and actually this was widely reported by Western media before the war, that Ukraine it has a Nazi problem. The Azov battalion has spread through Ukrainian military and into its government. It is extremely influential across the country. Zelensky himself has been provoking the situation. He's actually called for preemptive action against Russia by NATO. There's something that quite remarkable statements from him, again, back in 2022. He also lied about a Ukrainian missile being launched into Poland. If you remember, again, from the end of last year, a missile landed in Poland, and it was blamed on the Russians, but it turned out that it came from Ukrainian territory. We should also remember his relationship with Demna, the artistic director of Balenciaga. Demna was selected to be the head of the United 24 fundraising platform, which was set up to raise money for to support the war against Russia and to rebuild Ukraine. And Balenciaga, as I'm sure you will remember, was caught up in some remarkable controversies last year because of the use of essentially child abuse imagery in its campaigns on a number of different occasions. It was forced to issue a formal apology. They were wanting to address the controversies surrounding their recent ad campaigns. They strongly condemned child abuse, of course. It was never our intent to include it in our narrative. This is someone who is a close colleague and personal friend of Zelensky. And one of the images included in the campaigns included the cover of this book, The Cremaster Cycle, which is produced by Matthew Barney, the artist, which is full of Masonic symbolism. And actually, as you can see here, it has a Ukraine flag on its cover. Right, so these are the people that we're dealing with. These are the people that we're sending our money to. Let's also not forget the relationship that Palantir have with the Ukrainian military. Here is Alex Karp, CEO of Palantir, in a meeting with Zelensky and some of his senior team. And in the light of recent developments in the US, the opening of impeachment proceedings against Joe Biden, we should also remind ourselves of this video of Biden talking about his personal activities in Ukraine.
Well, I was, not but it just happened to be, that was the assignment I got. I got all the good ones. So I got Ukraine. And I remember going over convincing our team, or others, to convincing us that we should be providing for loan guarantees. And I went over for, I guess, the 12th, 13th time to Kyiv, and I was supposed to announce that there was another $1 billion loan guarantee. And I had gotten a commitment from Poroshenko and from Yatsenyuk that they would take action against the state prosecutor, and they didn't. So they said they were walking out to press conference. I said, no, I said, I'm not going to, or we're not going to give you the $1 billion. They said, you have no authority. You're not the president. The president said. I said, call him. I said, I'm telling you, you're not getting the $1 billion. I said, you're not getting the $1 billion. I'm going to be leaving here. And I think it was, 6 hours? I said, I'm leaving in 6 hours. If the prosecutor's not fired, you're not getting the money. Well, son of a bitch. Got fired.
Pre-Zelensky, but I think that sums up quite nicely what the political environment is like in that country.
Absolutely. Okay, thank you for that, Ben.